Imagine this. What if the secret to a more fulfilling life didn't lie in striving harder, accumulating more, or proving ourselves constantly, but in the simple act of giving? Adam Grant's Give and Take challenges everything we've been taught about success. In a world that frequently equates success with accumulation of wealth, status, or recognition, Grant invites us to consider a radically different approach, that by shifting our focus from getting to giving, we can transform our lives and even our world. This book isn't just a guide to success, it's a roadmap for rethinking the very principles by which we live. Why is this important? Because so many of us feel the relentless pressure to achieve, to prove ourselves, to stand out. We live in a culture that often tells us our worth is tied to our accomplishments, a culture that encourages competition over collaboration, accumulation over contribution. But this mindset can leave us feeling isolated, unfulfilled, and paradoxically, disconnected from the very success we seek. Grant's insights in Give and Take challenge us to unlearn the scarcity mentality that tells us we must compete to win. Instead, he suggests that fulfillment and true success come from cultivating generosity, not just as a one-time act, but as a way of life. One of the book's core revelations is that our approach to life, whether we lean toward giving, taking, or matching, shapes not only our relationships but our entire experience. Grant categorizes people into three types: givers, takers, and matchers. Takers are those who prioritize their own interests, viewing life as a competition where they must grab what they can. Matchers seek balance, helping others but only to the extent that they expect equal returns. Then there are the givers, who contribute to others with no expectation of immediate payback. In many ways, we've been conditioned to see givers as the ones who get left behind, taken advantage of by others. But Grant's research reveals a surprising truth. Over the long term, it's the givers who achieve the most profound success and satisfaction. This idea asks us to reevaluate how we interpret success. When we think of giving, we often associate it with sacrifice or loss. But Grant shows us that giving, when done thoughtfully, is actually one of the most powerful tools we have to create meaningful, lasting impact in our lives and communities. Consider this: when we help others, we're not just lifting them up, we're also strengthening the bonds that connect us. We're building trust, cultivating goodwill, and creating a ripple effect that reaches far beyond the initial act. Imagine, for a moment, how your life might change if you approached your interactions not with a mentality of "what can I gain?" but "how can I contribute?" One of the most profound aspects of Grant's work is that it asks us to unlearn deeply ingrained beliefs about self-interest and scarcity. Many of us have been taught, directly or indirectly, that life is a zero-sum game, that in order to succeed, someone else must lose. This mindset breeds fear, isolation, and mistrust. But Give and Take encourages us to embrace a different, more abundant view: the idea that success can be shared, that our contributions don't diminish us but enrich everyone involved. This is a radical shift. It's about moving from a mentality of fear and competition to one of trust and collaboration. In the process, we become not only more fulfilled but also more resilient, more connected, and ultimately more human. To grasp the full power of giving, we might first need to let go of the myth that giving makes us vulnerable or weak. In fact, Grant's findings show that true, sustainable success is often built on foundations of kindness, empathy, and generosity. Being a giver doesn't mean being a doormat. It means practicing a form of strength that isn't about overpowering others but about lifting them up. Givers are intentional about their kindness. They know when to set boundaries. They understand that giving is not about self-sacrifice but about consciously choosing to make a difference. This kind of giving is empowering, not draining, because it aligns us with our values, creating a sense of purpose that mere self-interest can't provide. What Grant advocates is what he calls effective giving. True giving isn't about martyrdom or neglecting our own needs. It's about being discerning, understanding that by contributing meaningfully to others, we create a network of support that's both reciprocal and enriching. Imagine, for example, the impact of small acts of kindness in your daily life, whether that's offering a word of encouragement, sharing a piece of advice, or even just listening with genuine interest. These 5-minute favors, as Grant calls them, are powerful because they cost us so little but mean so much. They're small steps that gradually shift our focus from ourselves to others, creating an atmosphere of connection, trust, and belonging. These simple acts aren't just feel-good gestures, they're transformative. They change our perspective, helping us to see others not as obstacles or competitors, but as allies and collaborators. And this is one of the most valuable insights of give and take. When we shift from a self-centered to a service-centered approach, we don't lose ourselves. On the contrary, we discover a greater, deeper version of ourselves, one that thrives not in isolation but in connection with others. So what might this look like in practice? Imagine approaching your daily interactions with the mindset of a giver. Rather than calculating what each relationship might give back to you, consider how you might contribute. Maybe it's a conversation with a friend where you're fully present, offering your attention without expecting anything in return. Or perhaps it's extending help to someone who can't reciprocate right now. These acts might seem small, even insignificant, but over time, they build a foundation of trust and goodwill that enriches both our lives and the lives of those around us. Grant's work also challenges another common myth, the belief that success is all about personal achievement. In Give and Take, success is redefined as a journey of shared growth. It's not about reaching the top alone, it's about uplifting others as we rise. Imagine the fulfillment of a life where success is measured not by how much we accumulate, but by how much we contribute to others. This doesn't mean ignoring our own needs. It means recognizing that real fulfillment comes from making a positive impact in the lives we touch. One of the most profound takeaways from Give and Take is that giving can create a profound sense of purpose. When we shift our focus from what we can get out of life to what we can give, we align ourselves with something greater than ourselves. This perspective shift is transformative. It gives our actions meaning, it helps us to feel connected to a larger whole, and it brings a depth of fulfillment that self-interest alone cannot provide. In many ways, Give and Take is a blueprint for living a life of purpose, one where our contributions to others become the very source of our own joy and satisfaction. For those who resonate with this message, the question becomes, what's next? After reading Give and Take, consider how you might apply these principles in your own life. Start small. Think about the people around you, friends, family, colleagues. How might you support them in ways that feel meaningful but sustainable for you? Perhaps it's offering a few moments of your time, sharing a piece of wisdom, or even just showing genuine kindness. Remember, giving doesn't have to be grand to be impactful. In fact, it's often the small, consistent acts of generosity that create the most significant change. And as you integrate these principles, pay attention to how they transform your perspective. Notice how your interactions feel different when they're rooted in genuine generosity rather than self-interest. Reflect on how your sense of fulfillment deepens as you focus on contribution rather than competition. You may find, as Grant suggests, that giving is not just an action but a way of being, a choice to live in alignment with your values, to build connections that are meaningful and lasting, and to measure success by the positive impact you create in the lives of others. In a world that often values accumulation, Give and Take reminds us that there's another path, one defined by generosity, connection, and purpose. It's an invitation to live not just for ourselves, but in a way that enriches the lives around us, creating a legacy built on empathy and kindness. So, as you leave today's reflection, consider how you might take a step toward this path of giving. Practice a 5-minute favor, offer help where you can, or simply approach each interaction with an open heart. If you found these insights valuable, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your experiences with us. Let's continue building a community grounded in the principles of generosity, connection, and growth. And remember, keep books over mind.